And we are, we're live.
Just
We are
like
live.
that.
Just like that. Cool. How is Sean?
Sean is busy. He's got all kinds of stuff on the go.
Yeah, good, busy?
Yeah, good busy. I've been working with a particular elementary school this week, and I have to remember to look down, which is unusual for me. Anybody who knows, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, what was really interesting was today I did a bunch of extra stuff in the school because there were some issues with the tech and whatnot. So I stuck around, for an extra hour and a half beyond what I probably should have. Anyway, long story short, I come wheeling out, and all of a sudden, I'm not making any forward progress. What's going on? Oh yeah, there's a kiddo just giving me a hug. So
Oh, bless.
yeah,
It must be
so
quite rewarding that as well, actually.
well, the kids are always open to, um, you know, I don't want to say it's a public display of affection, but the touch is a big part of education.
Yeah.
uh, and learning, what's appropriate, what's not. So, yeah, did he step out in front of me and just grab me out of nowhere? Yeah, he did, but it was meant as a gesture of kindness, welcome to the school
Yes.
type of thing.
That's
And
cool.
those are things that as performing hypnotists and as hypnotherapists and so on and so forth, we have to remember that every client has come up with every client has
Perfect
grown
time,
up with
Brian.
a different level of what is emotionally right or not right, or what has been maybe cut off because it was traumatized and so on and so forth. And then there's Brian.
And then there's Brian. So yeah, it's been busy this week as well. It's been a funny one today as well. Actually, I got had a bit of a shock. The gentleman that's someone that works in an office near me went through some drama, so that took a lot of today's energy. Did that, to be fair.
Yeah.
And Brian says he regrets nothing, and don't we know that, Brian? So yeah, it's great speaking with Dan. It's all guns blazing for the Michigan conference as well. Do you know what we've
Yeah,
actually
he
got a
was
little?
emailing, he was messaging me about some of the swag that he's looking at. There we
Yeah,
go.
I love what Dan does with his conference. He does go over and above when it comes to swag, looking after the speakers, the delegates, everything. He does an absolutely fantastic, stellar job.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah.
won't ruin it, but I will say that what he was emailing me actually does come in a nice red.
Ah,
So we'll
nice.
we'll talk about it. But yeah,
Yeah,
you know, Brian and I were talking after the podcast last night, and one of the things that we talked about was the fact that some people, they go to a conference once and they're good. They don't necessarily ever want to go again. But one of the ways that you can keep people coming back is by making sure that you have that quality content, you have quality presenters, and it's always nice to get swag.
yes,
You know, I go to my IT conference every year, and I say, look, if I don't return with a certain amount of swag, you'll never see me again.
yes, yeah,
And the vendors also, I'll say, well, why? I said, because I work with six ladies, and if they don't get swag,
yeah,
you'll never find me.
yeah, yeah. Good point. Good point.
So when you have that, and you can put it all together in a nice neat package like Michigan, where it's a regional conference, you can connect with people really easily and get to know them on a individual or on a group basis.
Yeah,
Perfect. That is something that you want to be able to take advantage of.
yeah. Let me just. I'm going to pop the link for Michigan up here as well. There we go. So that just pop a link in the comment section. Yeah. So I think there's 30 days left for the speaker submissions for Michigan.
Yep, and yep, there are links. They just popped on. So yeah, if you are, again, if you're a first time speaker, apply with confidence.
Mm.
This is a conference where, and even performing hypnosis. So I think if we looked at our ratio of new speakers to experienced speakers, um, yeah, we're always looking for somebody who has that unique point of view that nobody ever considered before.
It's funny. I was talking to someone that had bought the replays, and they were saying they were going through it, and they were talking about Tracy Harding's talk at PHS. So it was her first time presenting at PHS, um, and she was talking about Suno AI for music for your show.
Yep. Oh,
And
absolutely. Love it.
yeah, this person literally sent an email saying, I'm into like the second talk, it's Tracy's talk, and it's absolutely, I never even thought about using Suno and was going through some stuff. And it's nice to know that, and this is the thing, like, you have your headliner speakers, but you can actually learn something from everybody. And that's the great thing about PHS is we do have a spectrum of established versus new presenters. And because we
Yeah.
mentioned the
It,
replays,
you know,
I'll just pop them up.
again, and Tracy was a new speaker this year.
Yes, absolutely.
So to that point, here's somebody bringing a new point of view, a new way. Somebody so, and I have no idea who originally said this, but somebody once said that the definition of work is willingness to pay the price required to excel, uh, oblivious to the clock, and then R is always respect for new ways to
Yes,
do the old job better. And then K
100%.
is knowing how to keep yourself flexible. If you're willing to put in that kind of work, here's a new tool that you could use that could reduce your overhead because you can generate all of your own music. It can be all original, all licensed to you without having to pay extra fees for every song that you pull from the internet.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like why wouldn't you as a business owner think about how you could reduce your overhead costs
yeah, yeah.
with a simple subscription?
And that's it. I think, again, we are moving into a world where everything is subscription based now.
Yep.
But it's definitely worth paying those extra bits to kind of get those things right. Speaking of hard work, I have to give a mention and a shout out to Fraser, a regular watcher of the show. Um, um, Absolutely smashed it out of the park on the talent show Britain's Got Talent here in the UK this weekend. He's always had a really kind of very strong work ethic. He's
If you had
known
in
for it.
Fraser's Britain's Got Talent,
Yes, and he's always had this goal of where he's going to be, and he was on there, and it was great to see him absolutely smash it out of the park. So, well done to Fraser. I can imagine his life is going to be very, very different now, which is fantastic stuff.
yeah,
And it's good for all of us because, the more he's out there in the public eye, the more the public shows an interest in stage hypnosis. So well done.
yeah, and if you haven't seen the clips yet from BGT, or I saw one this morning from his, he was on a radio program just recently. Um, yeah, just absolutely phenomenal, spot on, and again, there's like you said, there's a guy who's put in the work to
Yeah,
do what he's doing now, and he's reaping the benefits.
yeah, yeah. He's doing it. He's doing it properly. So that's really cool. And again, another hard worker you had on Hypnosis Hero this week.
That's right. So Dylan Lovegrove, if you missed his live interview, it is still on Facebook for the next few weeks, and of course will always be available on YouTube. Um, we were talking a little bit about Dylan right ahead of the live cast here, and the one thing that I will say about Dylan that I noticed in his answers was it was very much like a teacher, somebody who had taught the course, knew the material because he lived the material. And that is just a consummate professional when it
Hmm.
comes to, if I'm looking at a course and wanting to take a course on how to be a great stage hypnotist, I would definitely consider Dylan as a teacher, just based on the interview and knowing the answers that he gave were absolutely stellar, and he didn't pull any punches because he said, look, you have to have a plan A, but you also have to have plan B. What
Yeah.
happens if something doesn't go right? You know,
And
and
you
there
know,
is always that
many times
possibility.
it will go awry. It is part of the job, to be fair.
Yep. Yeah, and it comes down to the prepared mind is often they consider it good luck. Oh, they feel like I was lucky. Well, yeah, maybe he actually prepared for that. You
Yes.
know, and yeah, it was a great interview. Not next week, but the week after, we have the great Steve Falcon. Actually, not even the
Oh,
week after.
brilliant.
What do we have here? Yeah, 2 weeks. So second Tuesday of March. By then, in North America, at least, the time will have changed. So you might actually only be 5 hours behind us.
Oh, I know this.
Um,
During those couple of weeks where that changes, anything that we do, Sean, you always have to remind me because
yep.
yours changes just before ours changes, and so there's a whole time where it's just up in the air.
Yeah. 100%. The time change, I believe, is Sunday night at 2 o'clock in the morning or something along that line. So what happens is you guys all change your clocks in North America, and it's all wonderful. But for me, because we don't change our clocks, I wind up 2 hours behind Eastern and an hour ahead of Brian.
So we'll have no idea what time it is.
Yeah. So for me, the 7:30 start time for Hypnosis Hero becomes 6:30. I have a couple of courses that I teach with LSU and a research group that is there Monday nights. So instead of starting at 6:30, they'll start at 5:30. So everything becomes an hour earlier for me, and I can still enjoy a little bit of sunshine usually at the end of it. So
Nice, nice. Well, we've been doing to and fro in some work on the website this past couple of weeks as well.
yep.
So
Something that is, everybody says, well, what did you do over the break? Because we just had a holiday, which is why I was able to help out and participate in the testing. But said, yeah, it's testing websites, and all that sounds boring. I said, no, that's part of my jam.
yeah,
As a problem solver, that's right up my alley. Is figuring things out, making things a lot more streamlined, so that the process just flows for
yes,
PHS.
yes, yes, and we're definitely getting there. Have I got a little graphic for it? Oh, I'll show you now whilst we're actually
There it is.
there. It is.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so I think we said the 1st of March we're going to open speaker submission,
Yep.
which for the first time I think we are on schedule slash maybe a little bit ahead of schedule. So people, if they wanted to, they could sneak a speaker submission in now. But yeah, I think the 1st of March is the official opening.
Yep.
And
And
yeah, and
we'll
the
have,
replays on there.
yep. So again, two things in there. First of all, if you're looking at submitting a speaker proposal, get it in as soon as you possibly can. Why?
Yep.
Because there will be a cutoff this year, and then we will
Yes.
start working on scheduling, accordingly. We only have so many speaker spots in person. So if you want to speak in person in Las Vegas and have something like that in your website, say, hey, I spoke at a conference in Vegas, or something along those lines, you need to make sure you get your proposals in. If you have something that doesn't, maybe fit a speaker proposal, put it in anyway as a speaker proposal, and
Yep.
in the copy, let us know. I think this could be a pre-session, or this could be a post session. We'll make that determination as
Yep.
we decide
Yep.
how the schedule comes together.
Yeah, and
And then the
it's a
second
it's
thing
a
is,
great thing. So like, especially, yeah, that is speakers get the copy of their presentation as well. So Alex Smith, I've already seen he's putting his post out there where he's got like 23, 24, 25, 26. He's got all of the years that he's done it, and he's now marketing his talks that way as well. So it's a great way of raising your authority within your niche.
yep, that you know, we know that, and I had this discussion today at a different. I was at a different school in the afternoon, and one of the administrators there said, "Yeah, and I still don't think you can hypnotize me." And then we got talking, and I said, "Well, here's why." Da, 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 da. And they stopped and they had to think about it, and it's like, well, how did Sean know that? Well, because Sean's taken the time to study and to understand the people and to build that authority that what I if I want, yes. And will you you know will you get hypnotized? Yes. There's no question in my mind, and just that alone now makes them think, okay. But
Yeah,
that authority comes from the fact that they know that I work through the PHS conference. They know that I do shows. They know. Da, 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 da. So I built that authority with them, and
yeah,
you know, in my mind, it would. She's probably not watching. It would probably be just a very simple: look up, look down, snap. Away you go.
yeah. That's it. I mean, hypnosis, a lot of it is expectation and belief. So the more that your client base can see, going to conferences in Vegas, hanging out with, Vegas headliners and all of that things, it just raises your authority and everything else. I was at Blackpool Magic Convention this last weekend, and again, great for the biggest magic convention in the world. But great to have a little corner where there was myself, Richard Barker, Alan Sands, and Lisa were over. Tom Pierre from Scotland was there. We had a nice, cool group. Patrick Pickard. I tried to meet Patrick, but we just missed each other. I was so frustrated because I really wanted to touch base with him. But he literally got to my table just as I had left.
Oh
And then he
boy.
sent me a photo of it. So again, great to great to network with your community.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was good fun.
Yeah. And then the other thing I was going to point out with that is uh, the replays.
Yes.
We just spent a few minutes talking about the replays and different marketing things, but also that people are finding great value in them. So you
Yeah.
know what? If you didn't buy into the replays, you didn't get a chance, or you're just finding out about the Performing Hypnosis Summit, and you want to get in on that, guess what? You can get in on that.
Yeah.
You can get the replays, and it would get yourself oriented and set for next year.
It's so, I say, weird. It was frustrating at the same time, just trying to edit them. So we kind of edit them down so that the speakers get a really good copy of their presentation. But at the same time, it's like just topping and tailing and tidying it up a bit. You then find yourself just stuck in the presentations and just listening to them again. And like, there's so much value. It's unbelievable. And again, it's even from, I do quite a lot of shows. You're still listening to these presentations. I'm like, oh, going, it's a piece of gold. So, yeah, some great stuff in there.
And always be learning. Nobody knows absolutely everything there is to know.
Yeah.
Uh, the world doesn't fit on a compact disc anymore.
Yep.
The CD era, even the DVD, it won't fit on a DVD anymore. There's so much knowledge out there. There's a lot of it that is there's a lot of junk out there too. But
Yes.
finding those gold nuggets, it requires some mining.
Yes.
So here you have a concentrated vein of gold.
And the good thing with the replays is if you're there in person's always great, and people that do come to the conference do have access to that via Zoom for a short amount of time afterwards. But with the replays, you don't have to kind of go, right, I'll pick this and not pick that, and I'll go to this and I'll not go to that. You can sit down with your notebook and take notes. Or if you're really clever, you could get like Claude or your ChatGPT to take kind of
And
summaries
transcript.
from
Yep.
each kind of talk. What are the takeaways? What are the important points? And get it to do the work for you as well. And so that puts you in a good stead. And if you put into practice a fraction of half of the talks, you will still be 10 steps ahead of everyone else.
100%.
Cool.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's it for me this week. I do quite like us being vertical, Sean.
Yeah, it's a good format, and we know a lot of people are on mobile devices when we're streaming. So why
Yeah,
not? We
yeah,
kind of fit the device. Even TikTok is. They said, "Oh, they restricted my viewing. I've appealed it already." But they seem to be doing this a lot more now that I'm rebroadcasting what's going on a website. So I have no
yeah.
idea why they're doing it to me, but it is what it is, and every time I've appealed it, I've won. So uh,
Brian says when you purchase the replays, how long do you have access for? Once you purchase the replays, you have purchased the replays. Oh, Brian says it's 3:45 p.m. PST right now.
that must be older because
Yeah,
it should be like
must
3:55 PST.
Brian may be lagging. He's
What
buffering.
happens when you wind up in the Pacific time zone?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I am. That's me. That's it for me. I think.
Yep, and that's it for me.
Yeah,
Until next week, take care, stay well, be
be
awesome.
awesome.
Good night, everybody.